Hello, everyone. Like Jessica said, my name is Natalie, and today I'm going to share with you a very personal story that starts with a dream. A dream that was birthed in the midst of pain and uncertainty, laying in a hospital bed where illness threatened to shatter every hope and aspiration that I had, and successfully did so for many years prior. Today, I'm going to prove to you and I'm going to show you that your version of success, whatever that looks like to you, is not only possible for me and for others to achieve, it is possible for you. And I'm also going to challenge the societal narrative of success. So I want to introduce my company. Jessica told you a little bit about it, but S&S Creative was a company that I founded in 2021. Within our first year, we hit multiple six figures and have been growing ever since. We're a digital marketing company that helps companies get their strategic brand voice out into the world. We provide social media services that are strategic and high-level virtual assistant support. Like Jessica said, S&S stands for Sick and Successful, which means every single person who works at S&S either has a chronic illness, takes care of someone with a chronic illness, or is a stay-at-home mom. There's over 16 of us now. Although it has nothing to do technically with the services we provide, it is the undercurrent and everything that we do as a company. So before we fully get started, I want to know who here can keep a secret. Put your hands up. Yeah? Not everyone. Can everyone put their hands up? No? Okay, so my chronic illness causes a lot of bloating. And so for those of you that know me and those of you that don't know me, it's quite often that I get asked if I'm pregnant or not. This hasn't been announced, but I am in fact very pregnant. So I am pregnant this time, and so thank you. So if we can keep that in the room, but I don't want you guys wondering while I'm up here. I do have a podium, I didn't know I was gonna have it, but. All right, so let's get started. I wanna take you back to 2007. I was just finishing high school with a dual diploma in cosmetology. I got accepted into the Asper School of Business with the whole world in front of me. I had dreams and aspirations, and I was ready to go when my world was tilted on its axis. I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, later diagnosis turned to Crohn's disease, which is an inflammatory bowel disease. For the next 10 years, I suffered with every single one of these symptoms where my illness impacted every single aspect of my day-to-day life. For those 10 years, I believed what the doctors told me, which was I had nothing to do with my chronic illness. Nothing I did could impact my disease. So I did my best, did what I could, and I tried to compartmentalize that illness. I took the 30+ pills a day. I went to the bathroom 30+ times. I lost a lot of blood. I had abscesses and perforated bowels. I was in and out of the hospital, yet striving for success on the other part of my life. I was in university working 6 jobs at a time, full-time in university, doing my best to be the best, get the best grades, yet almost every exam period, I'd end up in the hospital. My body was trying to tell me something, but I didn't listen. Eventually, 6 years later, I graduated Asper with a degree in marketing and international business, and I did what I knew best, followed my yellow brick road to success, and I entered corporate. In corporate, I worked for many big companies. Within 6 months, got promoted across the country, worked for companies like GE, Acklands, Grainger, RBC Dominion Securities. I kept trying to be the best, striving for the best, be that high achiever, promotion after promotion. Never once did I slow down to listen to my body, listen to my intuition. I got home and I laid on the couch for the rest of the night, chronic illness literally almost killing me, and I didn't listen. I listened to the doctors, medication after medication, steroid after steroid. Finally, in 2017, my body rebelled once again and I ended up in the hospital. At this time, I was starting to post videos on YouTube about my fitness journey when my body really cried out once again. I was laying in the hospital, and this time I was there for 2 weeks with a perforated bowel. I was laying in the hospital bed, and I thought to myself, why am I giving my all to this corporate job that as a high achiever, I keep getting looked down upon? I keep getting told to be less, to not work so hard, that I'm making others look bad, while simultaneously rumors about my chronic illness are being spread throughout the office. Yet as I lay here in this hospital bed for 2 weeks, not a single coworker has reached out to me to see how I'm doing. So I allowed myself to dream. I allowed myself to be creative. In that hospital bed, I started to write down what my values were. the daily hustle, the daily grind slowed down, and I was able to connect with myself, what really mattered. Not the next promotion, not the next deadline, but what really mattered. I started writing down company names and things that maybe like colors and started doodling potential logos. I had no idea what company I was going to start. I didn't even know how to start a company, but I knew I wanted to make a difference. So I started posting a little bit more about my chronic illness journey. And quickly, within a year, I grew a pretty big following on Instagram. And I turned that following into a side hustle. I became a holistic health coach and a personal trainer, and I started teaching other women with Crohn's disease how to get fit and actually pay attention to what they were eating. In 2019, I got an opportunity to become a breathwork facilitator, and I'll touch on that in a little bit, but I knew that I needed to follow my intuition and just take where the road led me. So I became a breathwork facilitator in October of 2019, and it changed my life. In November of 2019, I got pregnant with my daughter after many years of trying. At that time, I was working for Grand & Toy, and I was a facility supplies specialist. While still doing the side hustle, having 17 one-on-one coaching clients, working full-time in corporate, I was in charge of Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and Thunder Bay for all things like hand sanitizer, cleaning chemicals, masks. For the hospitals, university, every single mask that the Skip the Dishes drivers wore all across the country was a deal that I put through and I handled. So in March of 2020, when the pandemic hit, I went from working your regular work from home corporate job, like 6-ish hours a day, to 12 plus hours a day not getting up from my desk. Thankfully, my husband was home at the time and able to actually feed me, so I was able to get through. And in July of 2020, when the world was already slowing down from the pandemic, my world came to a screeching halt. I had the biggest blessing, and I had my daughter, and it was the best moment of my life, while simultaneously I struggled very hard with postpartum anxiety. For the next 7 months, it felt like there was a haze, but finally 7 months into my maternity leave, that haze started to lift. And I remember looking at my daughter and thinking, how am I going to tell you to follow your dreams, to do what you're passionate about, to look fear in the face while I go to a corporate job for health benefits? So at the same time, the universe kind of gave me 3 amazing opportunities. A friend of mine asked me to run her social media page, and her business doubled in revenue within 2 weeks of me taking over. An acquaintance had a social media course happening at the exact same time, and the University of Winnipeg PACE program accepted me to be an instructor for their digital marketing and sales courses. So I went all in. I started S&S Creative. I had a podcast called Sick and Successful at the time, so S&S just felt right. And within that first month, I was so busy that I knew I needed to hire someone, but I had no idea where to go. So I went to my Crohn's and colitis forum, and I found someone there to help me a little bit. Although that person didn't end up working out, that was very much the beginning of the ethos of S&S, because I realized when life impacts you to that significance, when you have to slow down, you are different. You look at life a little bit different. And so at S&S Creative, we don't think outside of the box. We know there's no box, and we know that business is going to turn left and right. And that's who we are as a company. So I'm taking you back to breathwork, where in 2018, I had an opportunity to go to a conference called Pays to Be Brave. At Pays to Be Brave, there was a little workshop called Breathwork, and I went into that conference not knowing what breathwork was. We can skip to the next slide. Oh, sorry, I'm skipping ahead. So what does success mean? This part's pretty important. So what does success mean to you? Society's narrative of success is typically defined by external factors, like achievements, status, health, wealth. I believe we need to redefine success. Success needs to be defined by our personal fulfillment, by our happiness, by our own personal development. So today I urge you to slow down, to look inward, to see what actually matters to you and what your life would look like if you followed your own path of success and stop conforming to society's narrative of success, or maybe your own fears. So now breathwork. We can skip that one. So now breathwork. Like I said, in 2018, I had an opportunity to go to a conference, Pays to Be Brave, went into a workshop, had no idea what it was, and that workshop changed my whole entire life. Breathwork allowed me to disconnect from my ego, to stop logically thinking how to emotionally feel better. I've never been one who can meditate and quiet my mind. I am a creative. So breathwork gave me something to do while tapping into my own intuition. At that conference, I knew I needed more. I had an experience that I can't even explain in words today. I was able to see my life in the future unlike I ever had before. So in 2019, when the same person running that workshop had a certification, I knew I had to take it. It cost $10,000 at the time, and I had no idea where that money was going to come from, but I maxed my credit card with the support of my loving husband, and I went to San Diego and I did it. October of 2019. Then the pandemic hit, and I didn't use my breath work in my business. It wasn't until I started speaking again that I realized I need to bring this to people. Because breathwork, although is becoming more known, is such an important thing that we can do to tap back into ourselves. So today, if you can give me 5 minutes of your time, I ask you to be open, to come with an open heart and an open mind. And although holotropic breathwork is typically around 30 minimum minutes, we only have 5 left today. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the next 5 minutes, we're gonna listen to some music. For those of you that can close your eyes, I invite you to close your eyes. I'm going to guide you through a breathwork practice. You're going to breathe all through your mouth. It's going to be belly, chest, out through the mouth. So if everybody can get grounded, get your feet on the ground if you can, feel steady, get comfortable in your chair. Close your eyes, and it's going to sound like this. Belly, chest, out through the mouth. All right, if everybody can close your eyes. Yep. Also, next slide. Yeah. All right, close your eyes and let's start breathing. Belly, chest, out through the mouth. Whatever you hear, whatever you feel, whatever you experience is exactly right. I just need you to keep breathing deeply, belly, chest, out through the mouth. That's all you need to listen to. I want you to think back to the hardest moment that you have had in your life. The most challenging moment you have experienced. And keep breathing. What did the room look like? For me, it was a hospital bed. What was it for you? What sounds were around you? What did it smell like? What did it feel like? Most importantly, what were you feeling? Did you feel like it was never going to be over? How could you climb out of this desperation? Like this moment in your life was never going to change? And just keep breathing. And now I want you to come back to your body and keep breathing, but come back into this moment. Come back into this moment, keep breathing and experiencing. You are here today. Whether that moment was 2 days ago, 20 years ago, or 2 weeks ago, you've made it. Allow yourself to go there, it's okay. You've made it, you're here. You dug yourself out of the valley. And now standing at the base of your mountain, of your biggest dreams, your wildest goals, and you look up and they feel insurmountable, all you need to do is look back and look at the valley you climbed out of. You were worthy enough, you were strong enough to get out of that valley. Who are you not to climb that mountain? Just keep breathing and experiencing. Allow your body to tell you what you need to take away from this today. Okay, you can come back to your body. Open your eyes when you're ready. Come back into the room. So that, I know you guys went really deep, and thank you for doing that within 5 minutes. For those of you that did, that is a piece of holotropic breath work. Typically, that's at least 30 minutes where it takes a little bit longer to get there. And it is so impactful. It's such an important tool that allows you to crack into yourself a little bit differently than many others. So thank you so much. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Last but not least, I just want to say, allow yourself to slow the daily grind, slow the hustle, because creativity doesn't come from grind and hustle and pushing. Creativity comes when we redefine success and when we push for our own perseverance and our own determination. Creativity will rise within us. Let's rise together.